What's up, folks? Holy King is here, folks. Actually, this is not the opening I might want to go with today. I've been dreaming about this, been thinking of this. I was going to open up with, welcome to the J&E show. Can they do that? Can they do that and not get fired here? All right, folks. Look, the King of Miami Real Estate. Obviously, you got the queen here, right? Elena Cardone. And I can't believe that I'm here at this studio doing this interview with you. And obviously, this interview came from popular demand after Miami Movers 3. We've done this interview on stage. Many questions came up. And, obviously reached out to make sure you guys get what you want. And let's, go over some of the stuff that came from after the event and whatever else that we want to know today. Elena Cardone.
Love it. What a great intro.
Thank you. Right?
Love it. Lots of enthusiasm. So awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
I always thought, I was like, if I do the
the J&E show.
Would she throw me out?
I like that. I like that. J&E. It sounds good,
I know, right? Awesome. So, look, on the stage, first of all, thank you for speaking on Miami Movers 3. You killed it.
It was so
people
fun.
Loved you. The women loved you. Everyone loved you.
I love
the
my
real
girls.
estate community loves you.
Yay.
That's awesome. So, Elena, look. I'm driving here and I'm thinking, like, what am I really going to ask her? Because obviously there's so much I would want to know and everyone else wants to know, right? I'm thinking of the real estate and how, powerful you just, became in the industry and especially in the community that we're in. And then I'm thinking also, what?
I want to check. I want to see how many people I have in my on my team. But go ahead.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you.
So I'm thinking of, what you're doing in real estate, then I'm also thinking of obviously Elena Cardone as a wife,
mother.
And I was going there, the wife, the mother,
yes.
the queen of this empire, right?
361.
Wow.
6 months.
We were just at the event, at the boot camp, and you said you had one, two, low 2 or high 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you've probably put on
got 100 people just like that.
Wow.
Well, once it snowballs, it really starts snowballing.
And I think you were speaking at an EXP event not too long ago,
EXP
right?
Con, yeah, in Vegas.
How did that go?
It was amazing.
Yeah?
So good. It was great to go there and really understand more about the organization that I work for, meet the community, and see all the other people from around the world. It was amazing because it's a really good group of people that support each other. It's
how did it feel? I don't know if I can't even ask this question. So how did it feel walking in at that event? You went with a Grant, right?
Yeah.
How did it feel? You guys walking in, but you're the one that needs to go on stage. All attention on you, not him. How did that go? Honestly.
It went great. Grant's always proud of me. And I think now he's at a point in his life where he's like, you take over. I want to relax a little bit.
Yeah.
But, you should have seen after the event, I go up on stage, blah, 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 blah. But after the event, there was a swarm of people around him. It was like, he's still Grant Cardone. They love him.
Actually, I was listening to this episode that Grant did with Brad recently, just last week or something. And he was talking about how you found this a new purpose. You're going so hard. Now you want to you're being asked to speak around the country. And he's like, yeah, I did that. I don't want to do that anymore.
I know. He came with me. I went and spoke right after EXP Con. I went down to Dallas for a speaking engagement, and he came with me. So it was a nice role reversal. Where, they put me up in the penthouse suite. It has Elena Cardone on the room. The car that came to get us, the sign says Elena Cardone. Usually it's Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
Usually I walk into the hotel room and it's like this huge thing of flowers and champagne from the hotel. Mr. Grant Cardone. I'm like, what am I, chopped liver? We can't say Mr. and Mrs.
Oh my God.
Grant Cardone. It has to just be Grant. So this one, I was teasing him and I was like, oh, I'm your sugar mama this weekend. Sugar mama's gonna come on with sugar mama, and it was fun because I had to be at all these events and do my speaking gig, and he was running around Dallas in a rented car looking at real estate. So he made himself useful, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, but it was cool.
So let me ask you: is it hard to now, with this new role that you have, this new purpose? Now you're speaking in different places, growing your real estate team, but at the same time being the wife and the mother. Do you think?
Yes.
Do you think that's a distraction or goes along?
It's very difficult being a woman, and you know, and any man can think differently and think, oh, that's just a woman complaining. But it really isn't. It is very difficult being a woman because I have a role as a wife, and then my husband expects me to be there and still do exactly what I did before, which is, you know, being there, you know, and feeding him with information. I want this. Who is this? Oh, it's blah blah blah. No, 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 you know, and so, and then the kids, of course, you know, they never leave me alone. Like, I mean, which I'm not complaining about. I'm just telling you the reality. So I come from working all day long. I walk into my house and it's like kids, boom. So work kind of has to stop, take a back door. Grant can go in there, be on Clubhouse, do whatever, and the kids leave him alone. Like if I try to get on Clubhouse, it's like, Mom, you know, what are you doing? Like I'm the worst mom in the whole world, you know? And if I'm like, one more text, I have to send this out, you know what I mean? And it's like, how dare you? So it is very difficult for me to figure out how I can still be there for Grant, who supports me, but he's also like, okay, wait, I've worked my whole life. He's 15 years older than me. I've worked my whole life to get to this place to where now he's got enough people in place to where he can now have a little more free time.
And now you're just popping up.
And now I'm back in the part where he was, and it's like, oh, now he wants the chill time with me, and I'm like, no, 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 no. It's time for you to support me. Remember all those times, you know, I supported you? Well, you know, and it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment, and he's dealing with it very well, but it is an adjustment.
That's awesome. You said something on stage that I got some feedback on. Now I understand it because obviously I'm an Elena Cardone fan and Grant Cardone fan at the same time. So when it came to writing the book Empire, right?
Yeah.
So I think you've been talking about writing a book. Then one time he tells you, I think like, hey, where's the book? The book is not here. Then he said, hey, you're a lazy and a coward. Okay, so here's some of the feedback I got.
Oh, yes, okay, they hated it, right? The girls hated it.
Yeah, they're like, if my husband spoke to me that way, I'm walking out. And literally, I was like, dude, I think you guys missing the point.
You're missing the point.
Yeah, like
you're missing the point. Because you know what? This book gives me pride. This book was written for you, but it was more written for me. Because I wrote this book, like I wasn't good in school. This rehabilitated my entire school. Like this gave me, wow, a sense of accomplishment. I can sit down, I can be focused enough, I can actually write something that I think is freaking good and awesome. I'm like, wow, I am proud of this. This is like a goal of something that I only thought smart people could do, write a book. I thought if I was gonna write a book, I would have to give it to a ghostwriter. And they have to do it for me because I'm not competent enough to do that. You know, I tried to do that in the beginning. I tried to give it to a ghostwriter. I had this big conversation, and I get back this outline, and it says, my dream was to marry a man and live happily ever after. I was like, oh my God, did she not hear a word? I said, forget it. I have to write the book myself. No one can duplicate me because that was the furthest like antithesis of who I was when I started out to be. But anyway, this is a sense of pride. It's a sense of accomplishment. And Grant Cardone, had he not said, you were lazy and a coward, would not have gotten me to get this product to give to myself.
So you took it that way.
I took it this way.
Like, oh, that's offensive.
Well, that's because they don't know how to look at, you know, what is somebody willing to do in order for you to achieve greatness. And sometimes it's not pretty. They have a package that love looks like the hand holding, and we're gonna turn off the electronics, and we're gonna watch TV, and you're gonna prove to me by your undivided love that how much you love, 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 love me. Well, that's good for like maybe a night, but that doesn't sustain me. This, every time I think about this sustains me. This is love. He helped me achieve a goal and a dream. Okay? He helped me get there. It wasn't pretty, but sometimes our love isn't pretty. I have to stop comparing my love to what I think it's supposed to be. And when I do that and I go, you know what? It was difficult, but he helped me reach a heightened level of success. And that to me is what love is. In that particular instance, it wasn't pretty, but the outcome is pretty. And what I have cannot be taken away from me now. That sense of accomplishment and pride in myself. You know what I mean?
Like I always say, sometimes I say like sometimes what's not good to you is good for you. So maybe he wasn't the nicest to you at that moment, but he was good for you.
It was good for me.
I usually say
it was like a tough love kind of a moment, and I don't want every moment to be like that, and not every moment has to be like that. But you know, in that instance, he knew what I needed to hear to light the fire under me to get it done.
Another feedback I got whenever we were talking about there is no date nights where it's just you two.
Yeah, they hate that.
So hold on. No, actually, almost everyone, like, you know, the people that, you know, started, you know, commenting after them, like, there's no way they don't go on a date night. There's no way she would be okay with that. That's not real. And I know it's real because I know you guys.
Yeah.
But
we spend a lot of time together. I mean, maybe I'm misunderstanding because we have, you know, where we'll call we have a movie theater now in our new house where we'll watch all four of us as a family will watch a movie together.
Yeah.
So I suppose they're right. We do have date nights, but it's not like my idea of a date night is just him and I going to a dinner together. So maybe we don't do that. Like every time we go to a dinner, there's other people and there's another agenda involved. But we'll like watch together, like Yellowstone, like I love that series. We'll watch some series together where we spend time together, just he and I, without the children watching something. So if you want to consider that date night, yes, we have that.
What was the hardest thing, you know, you had to deal with in the life that you have today? Like marrying Grant, you becoming Elena. Like the face is changing. Like
the hardest
one of the hardest
Well,
things.
Grant, I mean, I love him. I'm his biggest fan. I wrote the book. That's not BS. That is true.
Yeah.
But he is a very difficult man. He is very difficult.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you have to be, you know, look at Lazy and a Coward. You have to be so strong to bear the weight of, to support, bear the weight of Grant Cardone and what comes along with that. You have to be very strong, thick-skinned, you have to be competent on your game, ready at all times, the demand for excellence. I demand it in myself, but he is the same way because he demands it in himself. Yeah. So it's like there's no room for excuses, and that's hard because sometimes in life you want to blame something for your lack of responsibility, or you just think, oh, I deserve time off, or I should this or that. And so that's very difficult because Grant is very strong, very tough, and he's used to having everything be the world according to Grant Cardone. You know, it's Grant's world, and rightfully so. He's earned that. He's the jewel. He's the star. But that is difficult for me sometimes in my supportive role to always, you know, have to support that and take a back seat to maybe my agendas or this or that, or sometimes it feels double standard. You know, that's a term I'm throwing out at him lately, and he was like, oh, that's the new term all the ladies are using on Clubhouse. I'm like, I'm getting on Clubhouse because I didn't know they were using that word, but it's true, you know. Like the double standard, like he can invite someone on the plane and or he can have someone over at 10 o'clock at night and I don't know about it, and I'm meeting them in my pajamas with no makeup, but like if I brought somebody over, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, so that's difficult because I'm like, don't you just see that you did the exact same thing to me and I always just deal with it and roll with it? Like, take a clue, you know? So that's difficult. And you have to be the best. Now you add 10x to the mix, and everyone thinks, oh, it's so easy for Elena Cardone. She has all the money. She has this. She has that. It's got to be so easy for her. Yeah, you try being in my shoes where now I have to be 10x mother, 10x wife, 10x businesswoman, 10x. I mean, 10x. Like, oh my God!
I mean, in your book.
And then to keep up with womanhood. Yeah, don't get me, I'm on a tangent now. Shoot, trying to be a woman. Oh my God. Guys, you have no idea. Do you even know how hard it is to walk in a spike heel this tall? And then we got hair and makeup and, you know, we got to work out and we got to look good. And then, and then guys are like, why are you so vain? Let me think about it. Because every time one of you guys looks at a girl, you're like, dog, oh, she's hot. Guys, get real.
Oh my God. I would almost clap right now, right? That was awesome. I mean, look, in your book, you talk about say no to normal. Say no to normal. No, I'm serious. Like saying no to normal is everything that you just said. Is that, am I accurate? Saying no to normal in your household.
Yeah.
All right. Is that, everything you just said, like dealing with all the things that you do?
That's right. Because we 10X. I say, what, yes.
So, like the life that you have right now, like all these crazy things that you deal with now, probably that's becoming the normal to you, because no, right? But someone
right, that is normal to me,
right? Because it's your everyday. But like somebody watching, this woman watching. I mean, it's not just a woman getting inspired by this. I get inspired listening to Elena. Seriously, like they're normal. They got kids, or maybe just a married couple. They go home. They have that normal life, like. If they sit around and think, what is normal to us that we need to say no to? How do you identify what's normal to you that you need to say no to?
That is a very good question.
Right?
How do I identify what's normal that I need to say no to? I guess the only way I can answer that question is because with everything that I do, I run through this filter.
Yeah.
And this filter that I have installed is I'm either creating or destroying an empire. So everything gets run through that. So I judge my normal is if it's normal and it's probably in the line of destroy, because it's comfortable, it's easy, it's getting me nowhere, it's not helping me reach a heightened level of success. And then I would judge, because my life is not normal, but I'm okay with that. No. Like that's the way we've designed it because of whatever, the agenda that I have, which is, I got to push, I want to be the best, I want to encourage everybody else. And I can never ask anyone to do anything I'm not willing to do myself. So I have to do it to show that it can be done. And if we are going to do it. But anyway, so then the thing would come in through the filter of, if it's normal but gets me to create a bigger, better empire, then I'm going to continue with that normal. Mm-hmm. And if it's normal and to the direction of destroy, then that's the normal that gets eliminated. Like I'll tell you an example. Okay, so at EXP Con, right? I was in meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. Everything is like building out my team in Mexico and this and that and da-da-da-da. And I'm meeting with this person, I'm trying to get this person, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm meeting with the heads of these people and then I'm trying to get with Grant. And it's like every single second. Well, then at nighttime, I get invited to this really cool, and I went to one party because, there was an agenda there, right? A networking opportunity. It's going towards the build. Now the normal is I was invited to this amazing party in Caesar's Palace where they filmed The Hangover.
Yes.
And they actually hired the Hangover guy to be at the party, and it was supposed to be this magnificent party. I was invited to this party. All my friends were going to the party. That's normal. People go to these kind of parties with these kind of opportunities, and I looked at it and I'm like, I can't go. If you can name one person that I'm supposed to meet there to talk to elevate me, to get me here or there or wherever, or somebody, I will go. I will risk being in the 6-inch spike heels because there's something. But if you can't name one person that I'm supposed to connect with that's going to help me get to a heightened level of success and vice versa, I'm not going. Yeah. No one can give me a name. I was like, I'm not going. Y'all go. Like, y'all go do normal. I don't do that normal.
Got it. Yeah, you have this filter, but I guess for a lot of people, they need to develop that filter over time, like what's good to us, what's good for us, what's not, right? Which is what I think a lot of people are missing. Question, so do you ever wake up and you're like, this life is too much sometimes, or am I burning out? Like, look, you and Grant, you guys been doing this for so long at this wagon of success, and it's never repetitive. It's constantly changing, and then there's always this next new big thing. Honestly, I'm a close fan. Like I watched everything. I continue to do. I learn, and almost like this pattern of every maybe 2 to 3 months, there's a new big thing happening.
Huge, right?
Okay, at what point, or did it ever feel like, dude, that's too much? Like, can we just maybe? Is this enough? Am I done?
I have asked myself that question.
Okay.
And I do get tempted by those thoughts, and sometimes I do want to quit. And sometimes I do want to close the curtains.
What does quit means to you?
Quit means stop. Like, it's too much. I'm overwhelmed. I mean, sometimes there's a lot going on.
I'm 100%
there are
sure.
particles and people and things that is just like, you know what? Why am I doing this? And then I go back to when you have a realization that you are a spiritual being. And that's where I'm at in my life. I am at the realization that I am a spiritual being. Can we get this deep right now?
Yeah.
Can we go there?
100%.
Okay. So I have the realization that I am a spiritual being. That means I, as a spiritual being, create my own energy. And I'll steal Grant's line. I'm not a candle. I don't burn out. So I have energy, right? And I can create and reinvent. And if you really take it through time, right? Like, whatever you believe, you're going to die and go to heaven. You live through eternity, right? Or if you come back and you have multiple lives, right? If you're a spiritual being with an energy force that just exists throughout time, then that would make sense that this physical body, this lifetime, is not who I am. I am not a physical body. This is just the body or the vehicle that I am using in this physical universe to get around. But I, as a spiritual being, yes, I animate this body, right? Because if my spiritual self leaves this body, this is a dead body. It doesn't animate itself. It needs my life force to animate it. So I am not limited to a life body. And if I am not limited to this body, and if I am a spiritual being, could I be right here? Do you know what I'm saying? Could I be that big? Does my spirit stop in these walls on this physical universe? And if I'm going to travel to space, I can go to there, right? I can be in space. Like, it's going to move, it's going to transcend, or it's going to go someplace else, right? So why am I trapped in this dimension thinking that I'm just this little thing that operates this? No, I'm a huge spiritual force that can do anything beyond the limitations of my body if I'm willing to keep going and do it and survive.
How did you come to this realization? I'm sure like the simple human, behind the screen is thinking, wow. Like, I'll tell you, like, coming from a standpoint of a man, I guarantee you many men behind this camera saying, how can I get my wife if I can think like this?
I think big, and I think into futures. I've always been an oddball. Yeah. I've always been a,
But you were not in the same mindset maybe when you just got married.
No.
Absolutely not, right? So how did you get there?
Well, I'm also a Scientologist.
Okay.
So I've studied a lot about the human spirit, mind, physical.
I study it too, by the way.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been there many times in the Gables.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's incredible. So I've studied communication, ups and downs, personal values and integrity. I've also, I've really looked at who I am and what my capabilities are, and I've also gotten rid of a lot of false data.
What do you think of people speaking negative on Scientology?
I think that there's people on this planet who don't want to see groups that can better themselves have information that could better themselves. Yeah. So I think there's people who actively seek to harm Scientology, and if you actually look at who those people are, they're usually connected to Big Pharma. Because certainly they don't want you to know things. And, the word Scientology means knowing how to know. It's a Greek word. Ology means the study of, right? So it means knowing how to know. And there are people that have, and not many, but 2% of the people on this planet are actively seeking to keep people unaware. And I recently looked up the word information, okay? Information, right? Because they say knowledge is power, and I'm big on this right now. They say knowledge is power, right? So I looked up the word information. I thought it meant knowledge. The word information does not mean knowledge. The word information is in formation, a molding, a formation. The derivation of the word information means formation of the mind. Formation. So information, with the right information, knowledge is power, means a right calculation, a right formation of the mind. So you could easily think, well, if I have the wrong information, it would technically make sense that you would have a deformation of the mind, right? That would make you disabled. But if you had the right information, and again, Scientology, knowing how to know, if you had the right information, you could actually be empowered, right? And you could straighten out all the deformations of your mind. So most people that have deformations of the mind think that something is wrong with them.
Yeah.
What I've realized is there's nothing wrong with you. You just have the wrong information. And probably because certain people want you to have the wrong information, so you continue to be deformed with a disability so that you can kind of be controlled and manipulated. So the people that speak negatively about Scientology, that like can actually, a being can actually look at their own life and straighten out the course of their action and really understand who they are and what their power is and what their capability is, you could see why that would threaten people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That could threaten a lot of people who have a vested interest in controlling, you know, the puppet strings of the planet, which there's really only 12 families, but we won't get into
when
that.
I started going, they're like, you know, some people spoke negative, and I'm like, dude, I'm born and raised as a Muslim, and a ton of people.
I'm a Catholic.
I'm like a ton of people speaking negative on that, you know, like it's like doesn't matter what you believe, it's just speaking negative about whether you're Christian, Muslim, Scientologist, Buddhist. I don't care what it is. There's someone against it.
Right.
So,
I think there's a war on religion right now.
Yeah.
Period.
War of many things right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So what would you say, maybe this is me, I don't know if I'm being repetitive here, help me here a little bit. What do you think is the actual secret to the consistency that you and Grant have in your lives? Because there is ups and downs, right?
Yeah,
but you guys, like even the down, you're on the up. So your down is not as down as to the normal outside. I guess where I'm trying to go with my conversation is this conversation in touch with reality? Because we're doing here because we want to help others and obviously get our voices heard, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, you know, a couple out there or this person listening, they're listening to us right now. They could go 6 months or a year at one thing and feel like, dude, I think I'm tapped out.
Right.
But then you go watch you guys been at this, you know, this train of success. What, 30 years now, ongoing. And
well, we've only been married 18, but yes.
I think I'm thinking of his life too.
Yeah, right.
So what do you think is the secret to that consistency that you guys have?
Well, there's a lot that we understand, and we share a lot of reality, and we have a lot of the right information. We have a lot of the purposes, and our purposes and goals are very aligned. And also, we have less burnout or whatever because we help each other, we push each other, but we're also not connected to people who are actively trying to suppress you. You have to be willing to confront that evil people exist, and the most evil people exist pretending to be your friend. I care so much about you, and I only care what's best. And, you know, maybe they would want to encourage you to, oh, you know, you can't write the book, you know, you can't sit still, and that's not a great idea. Okay, take your time. I believe in you, and I could go another 5 years without accomplishing something. That's evil to me. But you have to look at the people in your life who are letting you off the hook or who are trying to hold you down when you are really trying to go up. And we don't have those people around us. And when we continuously start to feel like we are going and being held back, I have to go start looking in our circle to find, I have to be the one to find that person, identify them, and remove them. Because when you push and you push and you push, you should make progress. Like, there's no reason it's stopping. Do you have the right information? Yes. Okay. Do you have your purpose? Yes. Okay. Will you be encountered with challenges and no's? And yes, that's all part of life. That's the game of life. But eventually, when you keep moving forward, you should be moving forward. Do you know what I'm saying? And if I'm not, I gotta then look and see who is actively trying to hold me down. Because someone or something is trying to hold you down. They do not want you to win. And you have to be open to that awareness or that possibility.
Wow. What is one thing you wish people knew more about about Elena Cardone? Knew or knew more about?
Wow, you're just like, you hit me with some big important questions.
There's so many
today.
great things about you. Like,
I love that. It's making me
I'm
smile.
serious. There is so much depth to Elena Cardone.
There is.
Like, I guess I'm trying to go, deeper than Elena Cardone.
You're right.
Elena Cardone, and I'm trying to go deeper than Elena, the new queen of, this new EXP Empire. There is so much behind it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where I'm trying to go. So what do you think people should know or know more about, or you would love for them to know more about Elena Cardone?
Well, the Elena Cardone right now is interested in, expanding way beyond my capabilities, my natural capabilities.
Yeah.
I'm interested in how far can I go, how much of an impact can I make. And the reason I'm interested in that is because I want to see how many other people are willing to come along and push themselves and to really understand where they can go and where their potential could be and lie. And so that's the thing that I guess interests me the most right now is who is willing to take responsibility and make a difference for the better on this planet with this limited lifetime of a body that we have. How far can you go? It's not just about just rolling with the flow or accepting that's the way it should be and this was the cards I was dealt. No, I was dealt a bad hand and I turned it into a straight flush or royal flush or whatever the highest card is, and you can do that because we all have magic.
Yeah, you do, for sure.
I do. I have magic.
What's one thing you wanted to accomplish this year that did not come to fruition? Just did not happen?
I can't think of a thing.
Not one thing.
I can't think of a thing.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Because I learned this also from Uncle G.
Yeah.
So if you can't think of one thing maybe that you couldn't accomplish this year,
yeah.
does that mean we set the goals maybe not
too
big
low?
enough?
Too low? I mean, there's the technical things. Like I wish I was better at MMA. I wish I was better like a shooter. I wish, but I didn't set out to like write a book and didn't do one.
What is the ultimate life goal of yours? The biggest thing that you want to accomplish within your lifetime?
Well, there's a couple. Like the family aspect, I want to, continue to rear 2 children who are productive members of society, so there's that. Take that aside. Professionally, I want to run the largest, most successful real estate team in the world. So that looks like 100,000 agents that are on my team eventually. It sounds so ridiculous and so stupid, especially because I've only been an agent for 6 months. But I have my goals and my tracking, my 10-year plan for that. But that's the biggest thing because if I do that, I feel like 100,000 people, I could have impacted so many lives being the woman behind those empire builders by offering infrastructure, mindset, and support for them. I just feel like that would be a tremendous award being helping somebody change the trajectory of their life. Like 100,000 people, that would be a massive accomplishment.
Massive. So is Elena who she is today able to do these big things now, or there's something you need to become?
There's something I need to become.
What do you think that is? Because everybody sees you as perfect. I do.
No, I just need to continue to work on my craft. I have to learn more about real estate. I really have to become a bona fide professional. There's that. I have to have more confidence, more strength, more power. Getting on more communication lines of the world. I have to get myself out there, understand chess, the game of life a little bit better. I mean, I do think I'm kind of black belt right now, but I'm not sensei. Like Grant is sensei. So there's just more things I need to learn, study, observe, in order to be that person that I want to be in the future who can really handle it all with style, grace, smarts, intelligence, and grace. Did I already say that?
What is one thing you're still trying to learn how to deal with?
Probably.
On the personal life.
Yeah, like probably one of the lessons that I learned that's the biggest, most important lesson for me was when I really learned how to become a friend to myself. But I still struggle.
How to become a friend to yourself?
Yes.
Help me.
Well, because I'm always a great friend to other people. Like, I feel like I'm a very good friend. Although I'm bad at things like remembering your birthday. I'm not that kind of a friend.
October 28th.
Yes.
I like Rolex.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not good at that. Being a friend to yourself. I think it's important because I didn't always was a friend to myself. Like I judge myself. I'm not forgiving or used to be, but I hold others accountable, but I'm also forgiving with them.
Yeah.
And I try to really help, and I have empathy and compassion for others. And when it came to myself, it was always just beat myself up. You're not good enough. You're this. You don't look good enough. You're too fat. You didn't work out hard enough. Like, oh, I'm not talented enough. When I was an actress, I couldn't even watch myself on screen. It was just such a hatred towards myself, and then that led to excessive alcohol usage. But hey, I'm just being fun, or taking drugs or excessive recreational drugs because I'm dealing with. So I would physically abuse my body by doing those type of activities, which was abusive, And now I learned how to become a friend to myself, where I haven't done a drug in 21 years.
Wow.
And I don't drink alcohol and stuff.
When you say drugs, means like the drugs that everyone knows, or also?
If I broke my arm and went to the hospital, I would probably take something like an Advil or something for it, or if I'm gonna go get my tooth removed, they're gonna numb me. So I'm okay with that kind of drug, but I don't take Advil if I get a headache, and I don't do any sort of street drug, and I don't take any kind of sleep aid. And I gave birth to 2 children naturally. I'm just anti-drugs now. I just, I want to be clear and focused, and I don't want to be off of my game, even for a second, because that's not the role I play in this relationship.
So we talked about okay, how would you deal with I'm doing too much? If you felt ever I don't want to say the word burnout, but you're not a candle. But how would you deal with if he got home? Hey, we're rich as shit. We don't need to show up anymore. I'm done. I'm sure he had a bad day. I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
We got home with it. I think we've done enough. We're very rich. We don't have to do this. How would you deal with that? For him to get back next day to do the same thing, probably that he did not want to do.
Well, I'm in a different spot now.
By the way, that's where my relationship failed.
Right. Well, he's 63. And I have seen the amount of work that he has done. So I'm at a point now where I'm never going to let him give up on anything, because that's not in his nature. So there's that. So I'm always going to keep pushing him to do more. But I'm also at a point in our life now where if he is, I feel, I don't want to say tired, because that's not the right word, but wanting to just relax. I'm wanting to support that. I'm encouraging him, Grant, it is time. If you want to rest in the hammock on the beach, do that. This is your time. Go be with the kids, be on the beach. You have earned it. You're not lazy. There's people in place that are standing in for you. Your deputies are executing, so no ball is being dropped. You might not have to do what you did, hustling to sell a book or whatever, even though he still does that. You can have the time in your hammock and then go worry about the $230 million deal that we're doing and work on that. So we're at a very different place for the first time in our relationship, where I'm okay with, and also encouraging him to have a little selfish time and have his own time, because he's earned loaf time. He's earned a little bit of loaf time.
He definitely did.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not always, but he's earned it now. So have it. It's okay. You don't have to feel guilty. It's okay. We're gonna pick it up. Get what you need. I'm out here pushing. Everyone else is pushing. And then when you're ready, we're gonna go back at it again. Boom.
Now, on the opposite of that, we also spoke about on my stage is to be with someone with bigness big havingness, if they lose sight of that target or that next big thing they need to go for, you become the target.
Right.
Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, because when the game's too small, like you're playing a game in this lifetime. It's a game. Whether you realize it or not, it's a game. Everything is a game. So is the game that you're going to go accomplish greatness and go run the largest, most successful real estate team in the world? Because that's a game, and that comes with some barriers and some challenges and all kinds of stuff. But if you don't have something that big in mind, then what is the game? And if there is no game, I have to do a game, because everyone has to do a game. That's what we do on planet Earth, is a game. It's a game of life. So like if I'm not playing an active game where I know the targets and the goals and the this, and it's just a blindfolded game, then the game becomes, well, then I have to, you're my enemy and you're my target, you know, and then you're the game. Can I be more powerful than you? Can I, like, what's the game, you know? And then then you act like you don't know it's a game and you trick yourself, you know, and you're like, this is real life. What do you mean this is happening to me? And people won't take responsibility that you're playing the dumb game that you created. But if you actually set your goals and your targets and you know what they are and you know you're playing the game, then it's easier to understand the rules and how you're going to play the game. But if you're just like Igmo and just pretend like you're not playing any kind of a game, then the game usually is some stupid, small level, lower level game where like then you can just be caught up in all the drama of life and this and that, and that's what makes it exciting. And you've got this problem to deal with the mother-in-law, and this problem to deal with the sister, this problem with my husband, and I'm gonna go tell all my girlfriends about it because we got to get them all involved in the game. And it's just a very normal, low-level game that I am not interested in. I am not interested in normal. I'm interested in heightened levels of success.
Let me refer to something, the video that I told you that I've been loving these videos you're posting. That one video where you said you wasted a lot of time in the beginning of your marriage.
Yes.
Worrying about things where you could have been building.
Right.
Could you just talk about a little bit more about that?
Well, it's the little low-level games I'm talking about. It's, you know, in the beginning, you know, it was, he has a twin brother. He lived 10 houses away. We were newlyweds. He would go play Xbox every night until like 10 o'clock at night. Drove me insane.
It's hard for people to believe that, right?
Well,
oh, Grant Cardone was playing Xbox till 10 o'clock. Like
it's and then I asked him to stop, and it became 2 o'clock in the morning. Like they both tried to antagonize me, you know. And it was like at that point I was like, why did I get married? Like this sucks. I hate it, you know. And playing like ignorant games, like, you know, being upset about the whatever, you know, the toilet being left up and you fall in it in the middle of the night, or the toothbrush steals my toothbrush and leaves it in a puddle of water on the side of my sink. Like, who does that? It's so gross, you know. And it's like, and then they won't change, and you know, and you want to talk about stupid, like, I didn't know, but apparently I leave all the cabinet doors open, like especially in the bathroom. I open them, I don't shut them. It drove him nuts. And so I'm willing to change, and I like actually made an active decision to shut all the things, to not bother Grant Cardone, so he could be all focused in a distraction-free environment, so he could go do his little deals. And I asked for one goddamn thing, the fucking toothbrush, and he can't do it. Like, it pisses me off. Like, why am I changing and he's not changing? You know what I mean? Little. It's a stupid game. Is this the game I want to play? I'm reduced to a toothbrush. Like, I am that stupid. I can't figure out to just go buy a whole bunch of toothbrushes and keep them in the cabinet so that when he does it, I just go, oop, your side, and I just get a new toothbrush. Like, why can't I be intelligent enough to just do that? So what that I'm so great and so amazing and I adapt for him and he doesn't for me? Why do I have to make it mean that he doesn't care about me, that he thinks his life is more important than me? Why do I have to give it all that meaning? It's like too small. My mind is too important and too valuable. My mind should be thinking about how can we do a licensee program from around the world, and how can we open up to non-accredited for Cardone Capital, and how can we do a joint venture and do Cardone Capital, and how can we do this, and how can we do that, and how can we meet globally, and how can we get in front of 7 billion people, and how can we get these people winning, and how can we get more people coming up with us so we can have more things, because I don't like the people at the top, the people, because I'm not cut from that cloth. I want all the little people to come up with me, because that's the way I was, you know. And my mind goes like, like it should be thinking about greatness and, you know, how can we do more with Grant Cardone Foundation? How can we help more people? How can we help all those kids that think that something is wrong with them when all they have is a deformation of the mind? They don't have the right information because no one told them about money, and they don't know the 3 things that they have to know about money. But Grant Cardone Foundation, now we can get these little minds educated with entrepreneurial, and that's where my mind should be thinking, not about a toothbrush. I can't be thinking about falling into the toilet seat at 2 o'clock in the morning. Elena, just be responsible. Like, because he can't walk to his toilet and he has to go to mine and leave it open, so I fall in it at 2 in the morning. Well, why don't you just check and make sure it's down so you don't fall in it? Like,
got it.
Can I not think of my own problems so that I can think, you know, and do where I should be living in my world of greatness, not reduced to that?
Elena, with every video you post, every message you put out, you're making it harder for us men to find this woman that we're out there looking for.
Send them to 10X Ladies.
There you go, folks.
10X Ladies,
10X ladies.
Okay?
10X
10X Ladies. And I'm doing Build an Empire Mastermind.
When is the next 10X Ladies?
February 4th and 5th. And then February 6th and 7th is me for 2 days, Build an Empire Mastermind. I go through a workbook this big, and I talk about everything that I do and did for the empire, you know? And it's amazing because...
And you're on for 2 days?
I'm on, just me, 2 days going through the workbook. It's like something I'm very proud of.
So this is not just for women?
The Build an Empire Mastermind is not just for women, and neither is 10X Ladies, but the whole idea about 10X Ladies, it's designed like 10X Growth Con, where I have multiple women speakers, and it's really to attract the women who don't find Grant, and 10X Ladies is so they could find me, and then I can open up the door to Cardone Enterprises, Cardone Ventures, Growth Con, Cardone Capital, so that I can have more women into the mix. That's the whole reason I did 10X Ladies, not because I want to be like ladies only. It was just I want, another goal and dream is I want 1 million women who wouldn't have found Grant, 1 million women to have come in through me into the Grant Cardone organization, like everything Grant Cardone.
Wow.
See what I'm saying?
Make sure that I'm there. I mean, I'm definitely going to make it. Elena Cardone, is there anything you would like to say before we close out this episode?
Parting words, you know, be great. Grant always says that. Be great, nothing else pays. I say, don't be stingy. Don't withhold your greatness from the world. You know, you can make a difference, but you using all of your excuses to not put your products and services in front of me is a disadvantage to me, and it's a transgression against you, because I would think that you would want to help me and all the other me's out there. So go out and put yourself out there and put your products and services out there so that you can share with the world and help make it a better place.
I'm going to be greedy with one more question. Is that okay?
Yes.
One more. Now I'm going to be selfish. Now I think you know me a little now, right? I think we're friends, right? You know more about me and what I'm doing. What would be your best advice for Jalal, the king of Miami real estate? From
in
the
what area?
Business, personal. If you looked at me, and I'm sure you thought of it, if he's done this one more thing, if he changes this one thing, if that came across, what would it be?
Well, 2 things come to mind.
Even better.
Well, you would help me on my mission and my quest to run the largest, most successful real estate team in the world, and you would bring in, I put you down for 1,000 people. So that's one. Number 2 is, you know, for women, really respecting their value to society. And I don't know that you do or you don't, but I would say explore that area and figure out in the relationship how you can include them, you know, in the equivalency of what you were doing of comparable magnitude, you know, like not making them feel less than, or you're the, like I wouldn't separate man, woman. I would separate it based on strengths and weaknesses. And actually finding the one you trust, obviously find the one you trust to build the empire first with, but then really understanding, you know, you are equal in the marriage or in the relationship, but we are not equal in every role. Okay, so Grant and I are equal in marriage. We are of comparable magnitude with each other. We highly respect one another and what we do. We're not equal in the business, though. I'm not stupid. Grant is senior in the business than me, and it doesn't make me less or like, oh, I'm a woman, I'm less than. It's just, that's just the way it is, because that's his strength. Grant is not equal to me in the home and what I do behind the scenes operations. I am far more senior in those areas than him. So he has to let me run that department. He doesn't get to bypass me and make those executive decisions. He trusts me with that role. I trust him with his role, because we're equal and we equally respect each other as comparable magnitude partners together, building our future of togetherness in greatness together.
Oh my God, give me a high five. Folks, this is Elena Cardone, and this is why I'm obsessed with doing this interview. If you know me, the King of Miami Real Estate, Elena Cardone, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Can't wait to be doing more, and I hope you guys take enough notes. If not enough, watch this thing one more damn time, because there's a lot of gems in there. Elena Cardone, thank you so much. Mic drop. Let's do this. You're awesome.